Hey there, football fans. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in English football history, how Arsenal Football Club made the huge move from South to North London. Yep, you heard that right. The Gunners didn't always call North London home. Their roots actually stretch all the way back to the south side of the Thames. Intrigued yet? Well, hang on tight because we're going on a journey through time, exploring the reasons, the drama, and the monumental decision that shaped the Arsenal we know today. So, whether you're an Arsenal diehard, a history buff, or just curious about how one of England's biggest clubs ended up where it is, stick around, because this story's got it all: ambition, rivalry, money, and a touch of scandal. Ready to kick it off? Let's get started. Arsenal's humble beginnings in South London. Let's rewind to the late 19th century. The story begins in 1886 in Woolwich, South London, where a group of munitions workers founded a football team called Dial Square. Woolwich was an industrial area, and the team was born out of the Royal Arsenal, a major arms factory at the time. Soon after, they renamed themselves Royal Arsenal Football Club. At first, it was a simple local club, like many popping up all over England, but Arsenal had ambition. By 1893, they had become a professional team and entered the Football League as Woolwich Arsenal. The club's early years were tough, though. Football wasn't a big deal in South London, and the team struggled with low attendance and financial instability. Woolwich wasn't exactly a football hotbed, and many people preferred the more established teams to the north and west of London. They played their games at the Manor Ground, a stadium with little to boast about. Attendance averaged around 6,000 per game, much lower than northern clubs like Manchester United, whose crowds could hit 50,000. Therefore, it was clear that the club's location was holding them back since at the time, South London football wasn't a draw. Football's popularity was higher in the north, with clubs like Sheffield United and Everton pulling much larger crowds. To make matters worse, transportation to Woolwich was difficult. The club's location meant fewer fans could make the journey, and the lack of income began to strangle Arsenal. By the early 1900s, financial troubles were piling up. Something had to change. Financial troubles hit hard. By 1910, things were looking bleak. Woolwich Arsenal was in financial ruin, and their on-pitch performance wasn't helping matters. The team was regularly finishing near the bottom of the league. Attendance numbers continued to plummet, and the club was hemorrhaging money. Enter Sir Henry Norris, the man who would change Arsenal's fate forever. Sir Henry Norris was a wealthy property developer and the chairman of Fulham FC. He saw an opportunity in Arsenal's crisis, and in 1910, he took control of the club. Norris believed Woolwich Arsenal could become something bigger, but he also knew that staying in South London was a dead end. Now, Norris wasn't just looking to save Arsenal. He wanted to create a club that could rival the biggest teams in the country. His solution? A radical move, literally. Norris started scouting for a new location that would attract larger crowds and stabilize the club's finances. And he found it, just north of the Thames, in Highbury. The move to North London. Here's where the real drama starts. In 1913, Arsenal made the bold decision to leave Woolwich behind and relocate to Highbury in North London. This was a monumental shift for the club, and not everyone was happy about it. Fans in Woolwich felt betrayed. Arsenal was abandoning its roots. But Norris was adamant. He saw Highbury as a perfect spot, with better transport links, a larger potential fan base, and an area already more football-focused. Besides, Highbury Stadium was known for its Art Deco design and was considered one of the most beautiful football stadiums of its time. Besides, the move to Highbury wasn't just about geography, it was a strategic business decision. The stadium's location near major public transport lines, including the new Piccadilly line, made it easier for fans to attend matches. Highbury Stadium was built on the site of a disused college sports ground. Norris made sure it was bigger and better than Manor Ground, with more modern facilities and a capacity of around 38,000. Huge for the time. Arsenal's first game in their new home was on September 6, 1913, against Leicester Fosse. And while only 20,000 people showed up, it was already a far cry from the tiny crowds back in Woolwich. However, The relocation to North London wasn't without controversy. Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal's future arch-rivals, was already established in North London. They felt Arsenal was encroaching on their territory, and tensions between the two clubs began simmering long before their rivalry took center stage. Tottenham Hotspur even tried to block Arsenal's move to North London by petitioning the Football League, but their efforts failed. The impact of the move. So, how did the move to North London work out for Arsenal? In short, it changed everything. Arsenal went from being a struggling South London club to becoming a major force in English football. The increased attendance at Highbury brought in more money, allowing the club to invest in better players and improve its performance on the pitch. By the 1920s, Arsenal had established itself as one of the top clubs in the country. And in the 1930s, under legendary manager Herbert Chapman, Arsenal dominated English football, winning 5 league titles and 2 FA Cups in just 9 years. Notably, Arsenal became the first London club to win the league title in 1931. This success wouldn't have been possible without the move to North London. Overall, the move also sparked one of the most famous rivalries in English football, Arsenal versus Tottenham. The two North London clubs have been bitter rivals ever since, and their matches are some of the most anticipated in the Premier League calendar. Legacy and influence on English football. The relocation of Arsenal wasn't just significant for the club itself. It had a huge impact on English football as a whole. It showed other clubs that location mattered, and that sometimes drastic changes were necessary to survive and thrive. The move to Highbury is often seen as one of the most important decisions in Arsenal's history. But in 2006, after more than 90 years at Highbury, Arsenal moved to the Emirates Stadium, a continuation of the club's desire to grow and compete at the highest level. Today, Arsenal is one of the biggest clubs in the world, with millions of fans across the globe. But it's easy to forget that, if it weren't for Sir Henry Norris and the bold decision to move north, the club might not even exist today. Conclusion. So, there you have it, the fascinating story of how Arsenal went from a small, struggling club in South London to a powerhouse in North London. The move was risky, controversial, and full of drama. But in the end, it paved the way for Arsenal to become the club we know and love today. The Gunners' journey is a reminder that sometimes you have to take bold steps to achieve greatness. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more football history and stories. And let us know in the comments, what do you think would have happened to Arsenal if they'd never moved to North London? Until next time, keep the football passion alive